how can any Nigerian with a brain say he supports removal of fuel subsidy 3 years into Buhari administration? How can anybody say so? Do you support it?
3 years into Tinubu's administration.
3 years into Tinubu administration, do you support the removal of subsidy? Is this how to remove fuel subsidy?
Comrade Deji.
The people that they claim that they were not subsidizing the poor. The fuel was cheaper. Fuel was way cheaper. Now, after the removal of fuel subsidy, where's all the money that was saved from removal of fuel subsidy? The president, is it not subsidizing? Now, today in Nigeria, is it not the governors that they are subsidizing? Is it not Akpabio? Can you not see how fresh and big Akpabio or bigger Akpabio's stomach has become? Can you not see how big all the governors' tummies have become or how long their convoys have become? Is it not better to subsidize the economy and subsidize ordinary Nigerians, subsidize the infrastructure, subsidize the industries, the factories in Inewi, the factories in Kano? Is it not better to subsidize small and medium-scale businesses than to be subsidizing the Akpabios of this world? The president should bring back fuel subsidy because the economy is suffering. If you bring back fuel subsidy today, fuel will go down. And you know that Nigeria is not a producing economy. Majority of everything we do in Nigeria, including transportation to come to this studio, is tied to petrol. So if fuel prices come down, it will improve our economy. But if the fuel prices are high, the only people benefiting will be the governors and the Akpabios of this world.
Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, all in their campaign manifestos said the first thing they will remove is this same subsidy. So how come Tinubu, doing what everybody else promised and what everybody else tried, is now seen as the bad guy?
The Obasanjo administration and the political opposition lords like Peter Obi and Atiku, all of these people, including Tinubu, they share the same philosophical and ideological perspective of life. What is removal of subsidy? These are all capitalist ingredients. These are neoliberal economic formulas. Peter Obi, Obasanjo, Atiku, and Tinubu all believe in the Bretton Woods institution. They believe in IMF, they believe in World Bank, they believe in free market, they believe in limited intervention of state, they believe in private property. So these are people who come from the same ideological perspective. If Tinubu is removing subsidy, that's what Atiku will do. That's what Peter Obi will do. That's what Obasanjo will do. The only person among those who rule this country who has some slight different philosophical ideas is Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. Whoever you elect into position of office and authority, he's still going to subscribe to those institutions and then also be subservient to the United States. That's why you see, you have a government here who has contracted its tax program to France. You have a government here who also has invited the United States for security arrangement. But you also have an opposition who is paying a US-based consultant. So you are moving from Sodom to Gomorrah because you are all within a certain angle. You are not moving from one place to another. I am trying to know who are the beneficiaries of subsidy because I've been fighting, defending that subsidy. I have not had anybody who come to TV and say he's the one who is giving the money for subsidy. Please, if you have the name of one person who is receiving the money.
Of the money.
I'm asking you that if you say you are paying subsidy,
who is it being paid to?
Yes.
who is being paid to? When you have middlemen who come from nowhere without names, that money is paid to them. I want to know the name of the person. That's all I said.
Somebody is paying them. So this question should be directed to the person who makes the payment.
NNPC has a list of all the beneficiaries
Because
of fuel
you
subsidy.
now,
Can you help me with the name?
No. So this is what we are saying.
What are you saying?
The government says we can no longer, we are not paying subsidy. And I think that from your statement, what I deduce is that there are people who benefit that we do not know of. But if there are people who benefit that we do not know of, but there is somebody who used to pay them, who was the person paying? Where was the money coming from? That's the question we should ask.
In fact, let me help you.
Let me
Before you ask.
What I'm saying is that people have been prosecuted in this country for subsidy fraud.
Yes.
There are a lot of people. And now,
Somebody went to jail for it.
Of course, these are people that they say they allegedly claim they cooked up figures, they were not supplying products.
Yes.
People were prosecuted, people have been, I think one person has been convicted.
Yes.
So, The beneficiaries of subsidies are known. NNPC has a list of all of them. My own issue, why I said I'm against the removal of fuel subsidy by President Tinubu, and I was very clear about me saying that the president should bring back the subsidy, because all the monies that have been saved, we have not seen it. The new tax regime, all the money they are going to collect with this tax, they are also going to steal it. Just like the way they stole all the money that they've saved from subsidy removal. I have never seen a nation where they give thieves, armed robbers, money to keep, except only in Nigeria. We have all been saying before the removal of fuel subsidy, we have been saying that these governors are thieves. They are not accountable, that they are Lord Lugars in their states. We say even the money that they are giving, they don't account for it. They're not doing any project with it. This president came and said, let's give them more money so that they can have more to steal, so that they can buy more long convoys. If fuel is cheaper for the country, is it not better than when fuel is over 1,000? Fuel is almost 2,000 naira. And people are still calling the president master strategist. Master strategies in what? Fuel is almost 2,000. They are sharing rice. They say the solution is rice. All the geopolitical zone in Nigeria, they share rice. And fuel is almost 2,000 naira. Nigerian politicians, they are the most evil set of politicians in the world. And that's why I don't have any regard for any of them. All this subsidy money that has been saved, why couldn't they just use it to give us 5,000 megawatts of electricity? If they said subsidy, we agree subsidy is a scam, is a fraud. Open a designated account. Don't give the subsidy money to these thieves in the states. Open a designated account and use this money in the last 3 years to give us 5,000 more electricity megawatts in the entire country. The money saved from fuel subsidy, where is it? Why couldn't we use it to produce 5,000 megawatts? The money now they are gathering from tax regime, what are they going to use it to? You are going to give it to these governors again? They're going to steal the money again?
You extract oil, take it to refinery, and you refine it, and you have the petroleum products. So where do subsidies supposed to have come into this? If not, we deliberately kill down the refineries in order to import oil and to pay some people subsidy. The refineries in Nigeria are far younger than the refineries in the United States, France, and Canada. But ours is not working. There are refineries that are as old as 80, 90 years old in other countries and are still working. But where is our own now?
The governors in today's Nigeria, they are earning 10 times what they used to earn before this administration came into power. Show me one governor in Nigeria today that can justify 0.05% of what they have earned in the last 3 years. Just one. Show me one. Look at when these governors were earning less than $1 billion. We had the likes of Olusegun Mimiko in Ondo, built mega schools all across Ondo State, did free education all across Ondo State. They were not only were they doing free education all across Ondo State, built uncountable roads all across Ondo State. They were earning under $1 billion. Under $1 billion. Today, there are some states that are earning 30 billion in a month. They are not doing anything. Aside that, in that same Ondo State, I have been there. They were doing free healthcare in Ondo. They had shuttle buses that take students to school every day for the entire 8-year period that he was governor. Free.
Nigeria is not about APC and ADC. There is AAC, there is SDP, and there are other political parties. Mm-hmm. If you tell these people here, are you looking for a younger person to contest election? You say yes. Then you say, Shehu, say no, he's not serious.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
You say, he's not a serious person. Well, you can vote for him to be president of your country. You don't want him until when you're in trouble. You want him to protest, you want him to defend right, but when it comes to get him into power, you said no. You prefer the buffet that has member of the team A of the ruling class and member of team B. And then you start going round about and not solving problems. Hold on. You cannot look at me and talk to your conscience and look at the leaders of those who call themselves the opposition and ask yourself if these people are messiahs. I schooled in Niger State. I did sciences and Government Science College, Kagara. We are one of the students who usually lined up on the street with our flag to welcome David Mark when he was the governor of our state, in that state in 1983. And I found him. We sitting down together with him in the Senate as colleagues. He was a governor and I was a student. And we found ourselves in the Senate. And then you look at a Gen Z, you look at such persons and said, these are the people who will take you to the promised land. I said, okay, these people have held all positions of authority and power. I was only able to become a senator for 4 years. And I wish to see young people now not just becoming perpetually domiciling themselves in the comment section of people in power. You go and register into a political party, pick up the ticket, contest election, and change Nigeria of the dream. But you sit down and you divide yourself. These ones are supporters of ruling party, and these ones are opposers of those who were in power yesterday. And how do you change a country in that direction?
I said Obasanjo, Atiku, Obi, and Tinubu all have the same philosophy with regards to the subsidy.
Correct.
So if we are changing our leaders based on subsidy, we are moving from grave to grave without leaving the cemetery.
Indeed.
In your opinion, using fuel subsidy as a benchmark, ADCO, APCO, are they not all the same thing?
They are all the same thing. But let me tell you why.
AAC.
Yeah, no. AAC is ideological. But again, AAC does not stand any chance in challenging Tinubu. That's why I don't agree with anybody that is saying, oh, there are other political parties. The president is not trying to enforce one party state by deregistering.
But you say
ADC. Hold on, distinguish. Yeah. That's why anybody saying that is working for Tinubu. And my explanation is very simple. Today, as currently constituted, this country today, the only political party that can rescue power away from Tinubu and APC is ADC. And any attempt to deregister them, annihilate them, means that the president wants to go unopposed in the election.
But my question is philosophically, they are the same.
I'm going to hit the nail on the head. Now, having said that, the only political party that can challenge, and I don't support them, and everybody knows. In fact, the people in ADC, they hate me as much as the people in APC hate me. But I'm not bothered because...
Who do you support?
I support nobody. I like Shehu, but even him, I'm not supporting him. But I may vote for him on election day. May. You see, I use the word may. And I may not even go home. Because if by what I'm saying, I'm patronizing of INEC, if going by what I'm saying and the handwriting, I may not even leave my house. I may not even leave my house to vote. And because the reason why I say I may not leave my house to vote is because, see, we have gone beyond that level of all this kalo politics that they are doing. This is Amala politics that is being played in the country. How can you are called Jagaban? Jagaban is somebody that is above everybody. This time around, there's no Emefiele that will do Naira redesign against you. You are the person who is in the power. INEC belongs to you. Army belongs to you. CBN belongs to you. Almost everything belongs to you. City boys belong to you. Every city girls belong to you. You understand? Almost everything belongs to you. You have 32 governors. Or let's even say 36 governors, because LSOT is working for him. Almost all the governors are working for him. You have
Can you confirm this?
Hold on. I don't need any confirmation, please. We have gone beyond this stage of pretending on TV and...
So you are saying that OT is working for Tinubu?
OT knows OT is working for Tinubu. All these governors are working for you. Why are you scared of ADC? Why are you scared of the opposition? If it is true that you are the real Jagaban, as people claim, if it is true that you are the master strategist, why are you scared of the opposition? Why can't you allow the opposition to aggregate their interests? Why do you want to behave like Abacha? The last time we had this kind of scenario was when Abacha went unopposed. You remember Abacha wanted to contest against himself. I've never seen this kind of level of political psychophancy and twerking for a sitting president like we are currently seeing. This is the first time where non-state actors, anti-democratic elements within and around the government will be doing everything humanly possible, including using the courts to try to prevent the main opposition party from contesting, from being on the ballot. This is anti-democratic. And anybody who does not condemn is an enemy of Nigeria. Because how can you live in a democracy Even if we are not practicing democracy, let's pretend that we are practicing democracy. How can we say we are in a democracy? And in fact, the Akpabio Electoral Act that they rushed to pass was explicit that you cannot use ex parte injunction or interlocutory injunction. You cannot give an order restraining a political party. And that was what they did in that case. And this Amupita man rushed and delisted ADC from their website. How can you do that in a democracy? How can you do that? And anybody not condemning it is working for Tinubu.
If today Tinubu is removed out of power by the APC or by Atiku, you just remove Cardoso from CBN and bring Mochido from Adamawa.
Correct.
In CBN. You remove Edu and bring Chiroma from Gombe to take over that place. Nothing is going to change. The names will change. If Obi become the president of Nigeria today, if you remove Cardoso, you bring Eze to be there. And you remove Edu, you bring Chuku to be in that very place. Nothing changes, everything remains the same. Because they all believe and they all subscribe to the same political thinking. That's why, if you want to know Nigerian political class, whether they have difference or not, you meet them in a wedding ceremony or birthday ceremony, or you see them in a mosque or in a church. They're all friendly to each other. When my friend said here that he will not protest for any politician, he is not very far from the truth. I knew that the way politicians view things is different from the way an activist view things. I will give you a typical example. When Buhari died, if you ask the view of a typical activist, you say Buhari was brutal, his government was bad, he has done wrong, he has not been able to do anything for this country and whatever. But a politician will look at the votes around the ranks now. He may not have agreed with Buhari. And when he goes there, he will sing his praises. And he has a different agenda inside his mind in order to achieve something. I have been in National Assembly. If a senator stands up to talk, I know what he's saying and I know where he's going to. You have an opposition in the National Assembly and a law will be brought in like the $6 billion loan request by the federal government. And then your own ADC senators and PDP senators and ADC members will not stand up in the chamber and oppose it. They will concur and then come to the social media and either post on their tweet or on their Facebook, and then you are okay with it. That they have done good, they are different. To me, I know it's all deception. Because if you have a $6 billion loan request that a voice vote has been brought in, and that you can stand up on the chamber and say, I am opposed to this. And then you come to your Facebook and you criticize it, and you go to the comment section and you see young people say, God bless you. If you have a president you like or you don't like, and you are not concerned about the quality of people who are in the National Assembly, you will still be back to where you are.
And you remember what this president said, that if he does not give electricity, that nobody should vote for him. Where's the electricity today?
Comrade Deji, what
Yes.
if electricity in Nigeria is almost unsolvable?
No, how can anybody say electricity is unsolvable?
Since 1960,
It's like saying that putting on this light is unsolvable. Everybody has electricity around us, even
Distinguished
Ghana.
Senator.
I just came back from this Kigami's country. What's the name of that country?
Rwanda.
They don't bring light there in that small country.
Country smaller than Lagos.
That country is like Kogi State. They don't bring electricity
but
there.
small country, smaller than Lagos.
Of course, what we are talking about is that Nigeria has the resources. Go to Zamfara. They are mining gold on the main road. On the main road, they are mining gold. How can insecurity end in Zamfara? Insecurity can never end in Zamfara. Insecurity can never end in Sokoto. Insecurity can never end in Kogi and Kwara, where they have found gold. All these states. And government know the people who are behind. It's their politicians who are behind that gold mining in the country. So how can insecurity end?
Everything starts and ends with government policies in Nigeria. Everything. the quality of life, how rich or how poor we are in Nigeria, starts and ends with government policies. Whether there will be jobs, whether people will live in good health, it starts and ends with government policies. So if we want to solve the problem of unemployment in Nigeria, government policies. If we want to stop the injustice, corruption, government policies. If we want to go from consumption to production, government policies. I am personally sad when I see people blame the devil for the problems that they have in their lives and then hope that God is the solution when actually government policy is responsible for such problems, and only government policies can solve those problems for them. What are those problems? When people go to church or go to mosque to pray, they pray to God. They pray to God for safety because there's so much insecurity in Nigeria today. They pray to God for a job, for employment, because there's so much joblessness and unemployment. They pray to God for health, because there's so much ill health, so much sickness in Nigeria today. They pray to God for wealth, for money, for riches, because there's so much poverty in Nigeria today. And it saddens me because we blame the devil for the sickness, we blame the devil for the poverty, we blame the devil for unemployment, we blame the devil for everything. Somebody wants to travel from Abuja to the east, Lagos to Abuja. They are afraid to travel by road. So when they have no choice, they cannot buy flight ticket. They have to travel by road. What do? They will say a lot of prayer. They will first of all go and see their spiritual leaders for spiritual blessing. They're praying that, they go and come back safely. They are praying against accident. They are praying against kidnappers and bandits. Is the devil responsible for kidnappers? Is the devil responsible for accident that could be caused by bad roads and bad drivers? Is the devil responsible for joblessness and unemployment? Is the devil responsible for poverty? Everything starts and ends with government policies. The insecurity that we have, government policies, not the devil. The joblessness and poverty and hunger that is in the land that we have, is it the devil that caused it? Government policies. The problems that people have, even in their personal life. Today, the preponderance of opinion is that the youths are lazy. Is that caused by the devil? No. Government policies. Somebody asked me the other time, how can I say government policy is responsible for the laziness of the youths? Government policy is. If a government has a policy of corruption, what will happen? Youths will be corrupt, because Donald Trump said it. In societies where bandits are the heroes, children want to become bandits. People want to go where they are celebrated, not tolerated. If the policy is for you to be rich, you have to twerk on TikTok. Every youth will want to twerk on TikTok. If the policy is social media is there for distraction, youth will be distracted. If the policy is for you to be a youth and get out of poverty, your best chance is Yahoo, or your best chance is hook up. If the policy is, hard work doesn't pay, for you to become rich, you need to be a political thug. If that is the policy like we have it in Nigeria today, why do you think the youth will not be lazy? Compare that with the policy in a place like China, where social media access is restricted and youths are encouraged to create and make things more. Not even just youth, even children. What do you see? China is the production capital of the world. China was able to take over 1 billion people out of poverty within a very short time. Today, China has less people living in multidimensional poverty than Nigeria, despite having 7 times the population of Nigeria. China is 1.4 billion people. Nigeria is 220 million people. Yet, we have more poor people than China. Why? Government policies. A lot of these things that you and I go to church, go to mosque to pray for, it is not the devil that caused them. Government policies. You have 35-year-old girls, 40-year-old guys that are not married today. They are looking for husband. They are looking for wife. They don't get. And they go to church to pray. And somehow they are made to believe that the devil is responsible for their not being married. Is it really the devil? Or is it bad government policy that makes for bad economy? And so people that are supposed to be married at age 20, at age 25, they continue to hustle. You know what they call the rat race. They continue to hustle. They are 40. They have still not made substantial money to get married, to sustain a family. And so there are so many young men, so many young women, but no marriageable partner. Everything starts and ends with government policy. A man marries at age 45, marries a woman at age 40, and then they wait for another 10 years, they can't get pregnant. And then they are blaming the devil. They are praying for God to help them to get pregnant, forgetting that the fact that they waited so late to get married will reduce their chances of getting pregnant because of several factors, natural factors. But instead of blaming the government policies that made them wait late to get married, they are blaming the devil and they are thinking that God is a solution. Everything starts and ends with government policy. The problems that Nigerians are facing today, caused by the bad policies of the government of the day. Fuel is selling for 1,400 naira per litre, 1,350 naira per litre. Not because of the devil. Government policies. Today, many people try to explain it away that, it is because of the international price of a barrel of crude oil that has gone up because of the US and Israeli attack on Iran, the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. That is why the price of the price per barrel of crude oil has gone up, and because we still, Dangote Refineries still buys crude in international price. That's why he has to sell to us at increased cost. All of this is as a result of terrible, satanic, and poor government policies. And prayer will not get us out of this. Only decision can. A decision to make sure that government officials that come up with terrible government policies and go ahead to implement them, even when they know that such policies are punishing Nigerians, such government officials should be removed from office through elections. But no, the Nigerians that are made to suffer under these harsh government policies, they leave the people in government, they leave the people that caused this hardship through the implementation of these terrible government policies, and they blame the devil. They leave the people that could make their lives better, and they trust God. And they keep trusting God. And they have been trusting God for 50 years now, for 60 years now. And instead of getting solutions, Nigeria continues to slip down further and further into more hardship, more hunger, more poverty, more joblessness, more sickness. And they still cannot see that they are blaming the wrong person or expecting help from the wrong person. That it is bad government policies that is responsible. And their solution actually rests in changing, pushing out those bad government officials. Everything starts and ends with government policies. The reason why America is better than Nigeria, government policies. The reason why Nigeria is a consumption economy and America is a production economy. China is a production economy. Russia is a production economy. The EU, production economy. The reason why this happens, government policies. If Tinubu were honest and sincere enough and cares for the people enough, fuel will be selling for between 300 and 400 naira per liter today in Nigeria, despite the war in Iran, despite the war in, what is it called? Ukraine. Because you would have taken care of the corruption in Nigeria's oil and gas sector. Nigeria extracts 1.8 million barrels of crude oil every day. 1.8 million barrels of crude oil. Dangote Refinery only needs 400,000 barrels of crude oil to refine all the petrol that we need. And if Nigeria has crude oil, it belongs to us. And the Nigerian government, led by Tinubu, puts a policy in place such that you take that 400,000 barrels of crude oil out of the 1.8 million barrels that Nigeria extracts every day and gives it to Dangote Refineries on a partnership basis. Dangote Refineries doesn't need to pay the Nigerian government through NNPC if the policies are right. And then Dangote refines the petrol, gives petrol back to NNPC. All happening within Nigeria. All happening within Nigeria. You talk of, oh, there's no pipeline to transfer the crude oil to this. Oh, the crude oil is already being used to collect loans in forward sales agreement. All of those happened because of bad government policies. Project Gazelle, Project Eagle, Project this, Project that the NNPC entered into without National Assembly approval are all projects that were designed within the NNPC, hosted outside there in the Bahamas, to take Nigeria's money, put it and hide it there without hitting the Federation account. A government policy, the right government policy, would expose that corruption and prevent it, such that the 272,000 barrels of crude oil that leave Nigeria every day to service Project Gazelle, Project Eagle, those crude oil will be part of 350,000 barrels or 400,000 barrels of crude oil that we will give to Dangote on a daily basis. And he will refine petrol for us free of charge. He will take the other distillates, right, as his payment to recoup his cost. Win-win. Which means that we can take our crude oil, remove 400,000 barrels of crude oil per day from it, sell the remaining 1.4 million barrels of crude oil, take that 400,000 barrels, give it to Dangote in a partnership DSDP oil processing agreement kind of arrangement with Dangote. And even our own NNPC will use their own shipping company to ship. So we don't have to pay any external force in any foreign currency. Our insurance companies will be shored up to handle the stuff because it's within here. And then Nigerians can buy fuel at 300 naira, 400 naira per liter and still be making money from 1.4 million barrels. And what stops us from even going to 2 million barrels, to 2.5 million barrels? Oh, you say OPEC quota. Why should we even remain in OPEC? What is the advantage that Nigeria gets from being part of OPEC? All of this boils down to government policies. The people in government, are they implementing these government policies to make lives better for Nigerians? The answer is under the current Tinubu administration of the APC. The answer is no. So they come up with all manner of stories and propaganda to tell you that, oh, there is a justifiable reason why Nigeria cannot give crude oil to Dangote Refinery. You say what? What justify the monies they collected as loan that they are using 272,000 barrels of crude oil every day to pay for the loan? What did they do with that money? That money did not hit the Federation account. It did not. You say you paid that money to service JV cash calls. You pay that money to service cost oil production for production sharing contracts. Where is the oil? Where is the money? This is the corruption that goes on in there that makes Nigerians not to benefit from the crude oil that God has blessed them with. Why is this happening? Government policy. Let nobody fool anybody that the reason why fuel is now selling for 1,400 naira, 1,500 naira per liter in some places in Nigeria today is because of US attack on Iran, the blockage of the Strait of Hormuz, the increase in the price per barrel of crude oil on the international market. No. It is because the bad policies of the Tinubu administration has allowed for corruption within the NNPC that allowed some people to take away crude oil that's supposed to benefit all of us for the benefit of a few. Everything starts and ends with government policies. So instead of wasting time going to church to pray, we should focus that energy to chase away these bad leaders that are implementing terrible, satanic government policies. And how can we do that? Free and fair elections. And when I talk free and fair elections, many people quickly make a mistake. They think that free and fair election is the sole responsibility of INEC. Somehow some people believe that, oh, we just need to get the Electoral Act right, and then we must protest and INEC must do the right thing. Free and fair elections is not only the responsibility of INEC. It is the responsibility of citizens. And that is why we are saying we cannot leave free and fair elections to INEC alone. No. If we do that, we will suffer the glitch of 2023 in a more refined form in 2027. So how can we have free and fair elections? Project Eagles, not the one of the NNPC. In fact, particularly, Vote Watch and PU Marshals. Vote Watch and PU Marshal. If you want to know more about Vote Watch and PU Marshal, click the link in the description of this video. Check out the site. Visit www.votewatch.pro. Sign up as a PU Marshal, and then you will see how Vote Watch together with PU Marshal will make rigging the 2027 election an impossibility. I won't say more than that. We don't need all Nigerians to do it. We just need a few Nigerians that are patriotic. Will you be part of those Nigerians? I hope so. But at the end of the day, you must understand, you must realize that if Nigeria is going to be better, it starts and ends with government policies.